foremost would be, how do I stay awake on these long straight stretches of road? Well, firstly, if I go to sleep, all their screaming wakes me up, so there you go, that sort of helps to start with. Also, I have something to drink. I might have got some munchies here, or I can have something to eat. When I drive down the road, I don't just look at the road out in front of me. I look at the road up the top, down close to the coach. I look to the right, look to the left, or look outside here, or look up at my mirrors around the place. Keep yourself moving, check what the passengers are up to. And by doing that, your eyes are always changing position. They're not sort of getting tired from that one position. It keeps your neck moving, it keeps your muscles going, you don't get such a sore neck. And by combining all that, it sort of keeps me going. Plus I also follow the sacred Japanese art of karaoke. I sing in my head, that normally keeps me going as well. We're staying here at Emma Gorge on El Questro in the Kimberleys, and you're off the grid here. It's like living in Flintstones land. There's no technology, no TV, no phones, no internet, no nothing. And it's 7:30 at night now, and I'll show you what it's like outside. There's still a few people up having dinner at the main restaurant, but I'll show you what it's like outside around here at the moment. Don't know if you can see this. Don't know how well that came out, but there's absolutely no one around and nobody making any noise. So I don't know what they're doing to entertain themselves, or if they've all gone to bed extremely early. But I don't blame them for going to bed early, because about 5 o'clock, when the first hint of light comes up over the hills, the birds start up and they go real loud. That's our alarm clock. You don't need an alarm clock here, you've got nature's alarm clock. About 5:15, 5:20 in the morning, first bit of light starts to come up, and then one bird looks around, he goes, "Oh, what's that? What's that? Is that daylight? Is that daylight?" And he asks his mate, and the mate turns around and looks, "Is that daylight? What's that daylight?" And they all ask each other, and they go off, and this is what you wake up to every morning. You want to sleep in? Not going to happen. But there is one advantage to being up this early. That's my view outside the tent. Can't complain about that, can you? passengers have just been dropped off at the, where are we? Catherine Gorge River Cruise. So they're going in to do that. I'm going to use the time to go back to Catherine, to go to the garage, get some fuel. And I found a toilet dump in town, so I'm going to go and let the coach have a little dump. So I strike while the iron's hot. I don't know where the next one's going to be. And then I'll come back out here again. I don't have to pay the bill. Alright, that's the fueling done. Then let's go to the toilet dump. Very delicate manoeuvre. So we've got to glove up. Too hot to get the gloves on properly. Come here. Hope it hasn't made a mess. Hasn't done anything. There it goes. And that's it. And just like that, that's how it's done. Now it's off to go and pick the passengers up again. During the Second World War, one of the many Japanese bombing runs they did here in Darwin came all the way down to Catherine, and just out there is one of the bomb crater holes. I think the old truck next to it was probably there when the bomb landed too. The reason why the Japanese came down here to Catherine was to bomb this airfield the RAF was putting in. So the bombing ground was a couple hundred metres just up to the right hand side of here. So they didn't miss it by too much. You see those black things hanging up there? They're bats or flying foxes, and they stink. Just while we're sitting here waiting for the passengers to come back, I thought I might show you some of my tools that I use while I'm out and about travelling around. Starting here, that's just my mobile phone, so it's handy in case, like coming up this trip, we've had to divert around some road closures because of rain, so it was handy to get information off of that, of what roads were closed so we could drive around. My GPS, which has my plan in it, so I've made my plan up before I left Perth for the entire trip, so that's all in there ready to go. And it's not just to tell me how to get from A to B, but you can see here it says where my next waypoint is, up here how long till I get to it, so I can tell whether I'm running ahead of time or behind time, if there's any traffic delays. And even here, you can't see it at the moment, but when the road's in there, it'll show me the shape of the road. So if I need to pass something, I can have a look on here and I'll see in advance what the road looks like. If it looks fairly straight, I know I've got a pretty good run coming up in front of me that I can get ready to start passing. If it's got a couple of bends in it, I know to hang back and wait for a better time. Around here, this is my old phone. This one I use for a GPS kilometres. So when I'm looking at the road, at what's coming, rather than looking down at the dash trying to find the speedo and look around the steering wheel and everything, quick glance down here. This shows me how fast I'm going. This scale around here goes red, orange and green, so that tells me whether I'm on the speed limit or above it or below the speed limit. Over here it tells me how many kilometres I have done for the day, or for yesterday in this particular case, so that I can write down my mileage on my paperwork, plus tell the passengers every morning how many kilometres we did the day before. Over here, this is the recording for how much I've done for the day, although that's just since the last time the power was plugged in. Sometimes people ask me how high we are above ground for various places, so this gives me the altitude as well. So it's just a bit of a tool to help me give more information to some passengers when they ask for it. And this one over here, this is my old GPS, but it's a spare one. It's a backup one. Because the other one was the first time I've come up here with it, I don't know how it's going to go on some of the roads. I'm a little unfamiliar with it. So I've got a backup in case that one screws up. I know my backup one will work. Plus also that has the layout for the route I take for a Broome tour and for the Darwin tour as well. So that's just some of the tools that I use for my job as I drive around. Well, we're almost into Darwin, so that's the end of that trip. I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of what goes on behind the scenes when the passengers are all gone and doing their own thing, what the driver gets up to. So lots of things involved, that's just a little bit of it. So until next time, happy travels.
Yes, right. No, he's a captain, oh sure. And we're very bloody lucky that he's taken us on his tour. And the funny thing about it is we'll all be back for more of the same travelling game with our coach captain. Now we really mustn't call his coach a bus. Oh no,